We're live.
Smile is up straight.
Okay, hi everybody. Welcome to our Center for Advising Career and Student Success first live stream that we're doing this summer 2017 for all new admits.
Yay.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Yay.
Thanks for joining us. So like I said, this is the first of a series of live streams that we'll be hosting over the next couple weeks. So today, hopefully if you're joining us on YouTube, today we're actually going to be introducing a couple of our advisors. We're going to have different advisors for each live stream, so we encourage all of you to attend as many as you can so you can get a chance of actually seeing your advisor for the first time. But today we're going to be answering your questions, so hopefully you came ready and you can leave them in the chat box that's to the right of your YouTube video that you're seeing us on right now.
Hey, Meg. Can you introduce yourself and let the students know who you are?
Good point. Sorry, everybody. My name is Meg Austin. I'm an academic advisor for the Center for Advising Career and Student Success at CSUMB. And
what do you advise for?
Oh, yeah. I advise for the science majors for biology, marine science, environmental science, and environmental studies.
Nice.
I'll be here for every live stream, and I'll be kind of playing question moderator. So I'll be pushing the questions on the advisors and getting them to answer.
Question fisher.
Wow.
Let's see. And I'm going to hand it over to the advisors in just a second. I think we have a couple comments.
All right.
Good.
We have 13 people watching. Awesome.
Nice.
Okay, I will turn it over to the advisors. Go ahead and introduce yourselves and what majors you advise for.
Thank you, Meg. So my name is Jessica. I'm an academic advisor here as well. I advise for computer science, communication design, psychology, undeclared students, and math.
That's a lot of majors.
That is a lot of majors.
And hi, everybody. My name is Chrissy Lofgren, and I advise for psychology, and I also advise for undeclared. And for right now, I'm going to advise for human development and family studies.
Oh, and I'm helping with that as well.
See? And then we do the minors for HDev as well.
That's right.
Yeah.
So we are here to answer any questions that you have for those of you that are coming in for orientation, or those of you especially that are not coming for orientation. This is a perfect time to ask any questions that you have about the school, about advising. Actually, all three of us happen to be alumni from CSUMB, so we have an extra special relationship with this campus. So if you have any questions about anything at all, please feel free to throw them up on the YouTube channel. Meg will throw them at us, and we will answer those questions for you.
Yes, now is your time to ask, especially before you get here for orientation. So any question, it's free game. If we don't know the answer, then we will at least direct you to where you can get the answer, or we can grab your email address, and then we can email you after the session is done.
Totally.
Are we supposed to be on the big screen right now?
I think it's just on our screen. We're small.
Okay, good. So we're just staring at Meg. I like that.
So
You're on the big screen. You're on the big screen when you talk.
all right. So I guess while we're waiting for some questions, we can give you a little information about what we do in our office. In our office, we have three different kind of core areas that we cover. So the three of us are academic advisors. So we help with learning plans. We help with questions about courses that you're going to be taking, any major questions that you have about courses. What else do we do?
Everything.
Moral, emotional support.
Yes.
If you have any questions about policies on the campus, because there's a bunch of different things you have to do for withdrawing for classes, adding classes late, anything that you could think of that has to do with your classes or academics, we are here to help you. We have our career advisors that are all about career. They'll help you with resume writing, practice interviews, jobs on campus, jobs off campus, internships.
Yep.
If you're not quite sure what major you want to go into, they have a thing called a focus test that you can take to kind of help gear you in the right direction. And then you can meet with your advisor for details about those different majors. We also have our student success advisors in our office who help with, if you have any questions about like academic skills, you need help with time management, you just want to check in and make sure you're doing everything right, especially if it's your first semester, your first time away from home. They're really great to kind of help with that academic support as well. They also work with our students who are on probation, and you'll hear more about that at orientation and as you could become a student here. So we won't go into all those scary details right now, but they also help with our probation students.
We have a really good crew here, and if you go to our website, if you're on the CSUMB website and you just type in advising in the search bar, then you can go to meet the staff, and all of our lovely pictures will be up there, and it also has all of our contact information, so that way you know how to get a hold of us.
Why don't we show them how to do that?
Well, you're so smart, Jessica. It's like you have your bachelor's degree or a master's degree, right? What?
Okay, so we are going to share our screen.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
There's Meg. Okay, so this is what your dashboard looks like. You log into it.
Get familiar with your dashboard.
Yes, this is where you get all of your information, your email. You have your CMS account. That's where you log in to register for classes. iLearn is our system that we use for classes. That's where you turn in all your homework and find out information about your classes. There's a bunch of different shortcuts that you have on here. You can also see all the upcoming events that are planned from the campus. Towards the very bottom, you can see there's a lot of different helpful links as well, but I forgot what we're doing. We're going to our advising. So here we go.
It's kind of Monday today. Really, it kind of is.
It is. So Center for Advising Career and Student Success.
Yay, that's us.
That's us. So we have a lot of helpful information right now for new students on there. We have when you'll be able to register for your classes. This is a question that we're getting a lot from new students. So if you're a transfer student and you're attending orientation, you get to register on Wednesday, June 21st. You freshman students that are attending orientation are on Friday. And anybody who doesn't get to come to orientation, you'll be registering on Monday. So you have your dates there. We have a lot of different information, but we wanted to find our advisors and our staff. So meet the staff link.
Who's my advisor?
So there's an advisor contact list. There's Tammy.
There's the big boss.
She is our boss. We have Alex, kinesiology. There's Chrissy.
What?
She's not a Dallas Cowboy fan.
Not at all. Esmeralda, we don't know what you look like. I'll be taking a picture of her later today.
Jennifer needs a picture. There's me.
I can hardly see you.
You can see me enough. Karen, Meg, some of our student advisors, and so on and so forth. So you can see all of our information there and where we're located and our office hours.
And again, you should all be getting emails from your advisors right now. The first couple of emails we're sending out to whatever email you signed up with your Gmail, your Yahoo, whatever it is. But as soon as you are matriculated students, which definitely for sure will be Monday, it might possibly be sooner than that, so you can check your dashboard to see if your email is live. Once your email is live, once you are a matriculated student, we will only respond to CSUMB email. And that's something that we have to do. It's the rule. So get used to checking your email. It is the official form of communication on campus. And it's important because you will not receive stuff in the mail. You will get stuff via email. Nobody told me. What?
Great point.
Oh, I thought you were scolding me. I'm so used to being scolded. So thank you. Yeah, so it's definitely good to start checking your email and getting used to using it.
Yes, and thank you for going over our website. That's really good information and telling and reiterating about the emails. But we have a couple questions in.
Okay.
Yay, bring it. Bring it.
Okay, first question. If you are taking the remedial English and Math 98/99, do you get held behind on your degree required units by taking the remedial courses?
That is a very good question.
It's an excellent question. And it depends. There are multiple ways that you can start doing your remediation. You can come to one of our boot camps in the summer. You can start doing your remediation over summer, which actually is a requirement. But now we have the new stretch system, which for English anyways, you're taking a CAD class. So it does help with units, but don't ever worry about being behind. I get that I think it's great that you're worrying about it now, but there are always classes that you can take at a community college in summer. It's so much better to take a class in the summer at a local community college near your house and take an art class or take a fun class and transfer those units back in instead of overloading yourself and being afraid that you're short on units. So don't worry about it right now. Just worry about doing your remediation.
Yeah, there's a lot of different ways that you can get on track with your units, and your academic advisor will cover all of that when you make your learning plan. Or when we're figuring out like what your 4 years are going to look like, we can talk about all those different options to make sure you're on track and you're graduating in the 4 years. Good question.
Thanks, everybody. Next question, I might be able to help answer a little bit. So from Caitlin, she's saying, I'm majoring in marine science. What kind of general ed classes would you recommend for my first year / semester?
That's your peeps.
There you go.
That's your peeps.
Nice to meet you, Caitlin. I will be seeing you soon, hopefully, if you're coming to orientation. If not, you'll be hearing from me. If you haven't already, you should have actually heard from me last week. But
check your email.
So I'll answer quickly, but you'll be hearing more. You'll be getting a lot of more details on that through my email that I'll be sending to you probably this week on recommendations for our science majors to take in your first semester for GE classes and other recommendations as well. But definitely an FYS class your first semester. I would recommend a lot of students should take, most students should take an FYS class their first semester as a freshman, their first semester here at CSUMB. And every FYS fulfills a GE actually. So general ed is required across all majors, and some FYS is as well. But every FYS fulfills a GE requirement. So just pay attention on what FYS fulfills, which we'll talk to in these live streams. We should be bringing those up later. And so yeah, an FYS, maybe an E area GE, which is our health and well-being general ed. And maybe if you need your language requirement, which again, we will probably be talking more about the language requirement too, either in this live stream or in the next. You'll also be hearing more about the language requirement as well. But if you need to fulfill your language requirement, every student at CSU, every freshman coming in needs to reach intermediate level of a language before they can graduate. One way or another, you may be experienced in a language other than English that you can jump into a higher level of language. So those are the kind of the general three I recommend thinking about besides your major classes to start off your major in. But again, you'll be hearing from me too, so be sure to be checking your emails for recommendations as well.
Yeah, and that goes for everybody. We'll be sending out emails probably this week or next week about classes you should be looking for and adding to your shopping cart. So you'll have exactly an idea of what you should be taking your first semester. That goes for freshmen and for transfers.
Good questions. Keep them coming. Keep them coming.
Okay, so this one, let's see here. We have Rajane, I think. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong, but I think we have a two-part question here. So he said, good morning, my name is Rajane, and I will be a transfer student. My degree that I received from my community college is an AA in social science and an AAT in psychology. He continued down, he wrote another comment down here, so I'm going to continue on with that one. And someone mentioned to me while I was on a campus tour that I can major in family studies and minor in psychology. Would that be a good way to go, or should I just stick with psychology itself?
I think that you should look at the catalog and see which classes actually speak to you. And I know Jessica's going to say the same thing because we both advise for this. I think no matter if you go human development and family studies or psychology, it just kind of depends on what your end goal is. But depending on which career you're looking into, you might be able to get to that with both of them. So honestly, look at the catalog, look at the required courses for HDFS, and look at the required courses for psychology, and go from there.
You can also do a minor in the HDFS if that's what interests you. Our psychology majors, a lot of our majors actually do minors to get to the 120 units that you need to graduate, those upper division units. So it's not uncommon for psychology or human HDFS to minor in the other one. They're very tied in. And we, Chrissy or I are happy to discuss that more with you if you want to shoot us an email, or we can set up a phone call to talk more about, what might be a better fit.
And actually, whichever way you go will be the best way for you. It doesn't matter. They're both great majors.
Yep.
Awesome. Okay, moving on down. Okay, do students at CSUMB need to complete service hours to graduate?
Yes.
We do have a service learning requirement. We have a lower division requirement and we have an upper division requirement. So freshmen, you will be going through 2 service learning classes. Each of those kind of classes in the lower and upper division require about 30 hours of community service during the semester. In that class, you're going to be going to a certain site and doing those hours. It's a really great chance to get off campus to get to know, different nonprofits and other organizations in the area, a way to give back to our little community that we have here, and to network for future jobs. So the lower division one is a little more general. Each one is tied to a GE requirement. And then your upper division should be related to your major. Some of our majors don't have one specific to their major, so you'll be kind of picking from a list of those. But it's a great opportunity, and it's definitely manageable in a semester. If you're doing about like 3 to 5 hours a week, you should be good.
A lot of our students have actually gotten jobs after their service learning.
Or it turns into a longer internship.
Or they like change their career path after they do their service learning hours someplace, something they never would have thought about. It's like this light bulb turns on. So it's a really great thing that our campus does, and it's important. Yeah, we're actually known nationwide for our service learning program. So it's a really great opportunity for you all.
Great. Okay.
Great. Did she not like our answer?
I love y'all's answer.
Okay, good.
Next question. This is another good one. What is the language proficiency requirement?
This is an excellent one.
Two-parter. If I took ASL for 3 years in high school, what class should I take at CSUMB?
So that is a wonderful question.
That is a loaded question.
Yeah, so there's a lot of parts to this. So first off, unless you took an AP class at your high school, you're not going to get college credit for that class. You have to have taken the AP test and gotten a 4 or 5 to get college credit for that class. The great thing about taking it in high school, though, is that you can actually use that experience and possibly jump a couple of semesters ahead. So if you're brand new, have never taken a language, and are starting fresh, it typically takes 3 semesters.
Question, did they say they're a freshman or a transfer student?
I'm sorry, it cut out for that part. What was your question, Chrissy?
Is that a freshman or a transfer?
He does not, or she does not specify, Marissa. So I'm thinking probably a freshman, but
she's in high school anyway. So that.
But I still get that from transfer students, because if you're a transfer student in a high unit major.
Oh no, she says she's a transfer.
Okay. So if you're a high unit major, Marissa, then if you're in bio or liberal studies or business, I'm gonna forget them all, math,
computer science.
Thank you. So if you're in a high unit major, you're A through E certified, you've done all your general education. If you have 60 units under your belt that are CSU transferable, then you do not need a language. However, if you're psych, if you are kinesiology, if you're HCOM, if you're any of the other majors that are not high unit majors, and if you go to the website on CSUMB, you can type in language proficiency. It will show you the high unit majors. Then you do need to get to the 3rd level or intermediate level of an alternate language.
So the thing to remember about our language requirement is it doesn't really matter how you get there. You just need to get to that 3rd level. Yep. So like I said, if you're starting fresh, you've never taken a language before, it will typically take 3 semesters. But a lot of students sometimes skip the 1st or the 2nd level because they have experience in high school, or they've grown up speaking Spanish in their homes, or whatever it might be. There's ways that you can jump ahead in the language. So we always tell students to check in with your advisor if you kind of think that your situation is a little unique, and we will kind of help you with the best way possible to get through the requirements. You don't have to necessarily do 3 semesters to get the requirement completed.
Check with your advisor.
That goes for freshmen, and that goes for transfer students.
Advising is important.
It is important.
Awesome. Okay, so Kyle came back in with when he asked about remediation student, and he can't take summer courses for some reason, so he can't take the boot camp or summer courses. So I would say to Kyle, probably check in with your international student advisor from the international programs office, or the international admissions coordinator in the admissions office, to talk about completing remediation once you get here.
Yeah.
Give us another hard one.
Okay, next one. So if you end up being in a cohort for computer science, are you still able to work on doing a double major in another major besides CS?
Well, that's a tough one. The cohorts are very strict in their setup. You're taking usually 4 classes a semester, unless you're maybe coming in with some AP credits or something like that. So there's not a lot of room for a double major. The second kind of part to that is in advising, we typically don't recommend double majors because that just takes a lot of time, and it takes more time than you actually should probably spend here. Usually you want to just kind of focus on your major, maybe do a minor if you can squeeze it in, and then move on to the next thing. It always depends on kind of what job you want to get into, but our kind of general idea is that it's usually a better use of your time if you want to kind of specialize in something like that, to go to a master's program or to get like internship experience. The double major is not always like the best option, but it's definitely something we can talk about. I've had students try to do a double major in the cohort, and it's pretty tough. They have to take a lot of classes to fit that in. Most times it's usually a minor. So if you're thinking about that, just shoot me an email, and I'm happy to talk about that a little more with you.
Plus the 144 units. How do you get that done?
Yeah, the computer science is huge. It's a big major. There's a lot of requirements. There's a lot of math and a lot of programming. It gets really intense in your last couple of years. So I would probably not recommend a second major, but you know, it's your educational experience. So if that's something that you want to consider, we can definitely talk about it.
Good thing we have the computer science advisor and psychology advisors here today. We're getting all these good questions for majors.
Wow, we're going to be doing all these.
Okay, next one. Let's see here. Oh, how does the system of upper and lower division units work?
Wow, good question. Okay, so
it kind of depends on exactly what you're asking. If you're a freshman, I'm assuming, your first 2 years is typically your lower division classes, which is typically your general education, your English, your math, your sciences, your arts, your humanities. And those are typically fulfilled within the first 2 years.
There can also be prereqs for your major that you take during that time. So we don't base it on the number of years you're here. We base it on the number of units that you've completed. So if you have anything below 60 units, so 59 below, you're considered a lower division student, and you're usually taking 100 and 200 level classes. When you are a junior, which is 60 units plus, then you are an upper division student, and you'll start taking 300 level, 400 level classes. So that's how we kind of break it down. It's by the number of units that you've earned while you're here, and that's where we kind of consider if you're a freshman, a sophomore, a junior, and so on.
Good questions.
Question: how many upper division units does a student need to graduate?
Depends on the major.
How
so
much?
Everything's major specific. For instance, in psychology, you need so many upper division units. If you're a transfer student and you're coming in with 70, because that's the allotted amount that you can transfer in from a community college, then you would for sure need 50. But some majors are high unit majors, and they might require 60. So it just depends. Every major is different, but for the most part, it's generally 50 to 60, just depending on the major.
Thank you. Yes, and but everyone does. Oh, were you saying something?
Everybody, the minimum requirement everybody has to complete is 40 upper division units, but most majors have more built in.
Yeah.
Right. Thank you. Thank you for that. That's perfect. Okay. Moving on down from Indiana Clark. Hello, my name is Indiana Clark. I am majoring in human development and family studies. How often should we meet with our advisor? Is it once a year or by every semester?
We like you to meet all the time with your advisor. We definitely recommend once a semester meeting with your advisor, but it's up to you. We have students that meet with us one semester, they skip the next one, they come in the next semester. We don't recommend that. We have several students that meet with us multiple times in a semester. So it's really what you need and what your needs are. But we're also typically available via email. But if it's something like learning planning, class planning, we like you to come in and see us. And we also do have walk-ins that you can always pop in on Wednesdays and come talk to an advisor for quick 10, 15-minute walk-in questions. So we are available.
Yeah, so it's always good to check in, but like Chrissy said, it's totally up to you and how much you feel like you need us. But we always recommend at least like once a semester.
Or if you want candy, and I have candy in my office, I'm just saying.
Chrissy's got the goods in her office.
Yeah.
Always got some candy. All right. Next one. Hi, ladies. I am a kinesiology major.
Oh.
Yay!
So there are university requirements and as well as general ed requirements. Would you suggest taking those classes before jumping into classes in my major?
So that definitely depends on the major. Some majors like psychology or kinesiology actually don't have a lot of lower division requirements that you have to complete. So you work a lot on the university requirements like the language and your GE in your first couple of years here. However, other majors like computer science or bio or any science really or business have a lot of lower division requirements that you have to complete as well before you can get to those junior level classes. So you have to do a combination of both. So the great thing is that your advisor is there to kind of give you that general idea of what you should be taking every semester and what that's going to look like if you're going to be taking a bunch of GEs your first couple of years and then getting into those major classes, or if you're going to be doing kind of like a combination of both. So for kinesiology, it's more general education. There's a couple of requirements that you have in your lower division, but most of it's going to be done in your junior, senior year.
Boom.
Boom. Is that dropping the mic?
Drop the mic.
Alrighty. I want to make sure I didn't skip any here. Yep, I got that one. Okay. Hi. Another question about language proficiency. If you are double majoring, does that count as being as a high unit major? Would that make you exempt from the requirement?
Nope.
No. So again, yeah, if you're a freshman, no, everybody has to do language. And for the most part, we do not encourage double majoring here because you have to be done in 144 units, and it's almost impossible to be done in 144 units with a double major. So again, like Jessica suggested, we suggest majoring in something and then choose what you want and minor in it because it's a better pathway. But if you are a high unit major and you're a transfer, you don't need language. If you are a freshman, you need language.
Yeah, so even if you do a double major and you have a bunch of requirements, you still have to fit in that language.
Great. Okay.
Is she happy with it? Great.
Yeah. She's multitasking.
Great. You're a multitasker.
What is the California Promise program and how do I sign up for it?
All right, who asked that question? Can you give me
Marissa Hernandez.
Marissa.
Yes.
So the California Promise is a brand new program that we are starting this year at our school. So, it's not all ironed out yet, I would say. You are signing up right now through admissions, I believe. So they are the first person to contact for that, so you can get on that list. What it entails is to be determined, and we're working on that. One thing I do know for sure is that you get priority registration. You have to make sure that you meet all the requirements, though, and that you're coming in with a solid major. You have to have all of your GEs done. You have to have that AAT kind of in place. So there are some specific requirements that you do have to meet. You're going to have to meet with your advisor pretty quickly.
In the first several weeks, you have to meet with one.
Yeah, so there are some strict kind of guidelines that go along with that promise. But the overall idea is that you do stick with the promise, and if you follow all of the requirements, that you should get out of here in 2 years.
Yay!
So more to come on that.
Yes, and there's information too on our website about California Promise as well for details on requirements and what kind of perks you get to as qualified for California Promise.
Yep. Promise? Do you promise?
Promise.
Okay. All right. So we're good.
California Promise. It means.
Okay.
Alrighty. Another one from Rajane. I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing that right. What type of internships are out there for the psychology majors?
Ooh, good question. First of all, props to our career department because we have some awesome career advisors in there that will be willing to help you with some internships. We have students that have gotten internships at Peacock Acres, working with foster youth. We have students that are doing the Rape Crisis Center. We have students that have done Star Writers, working with adults and children with disabilities, with horses. I have students that have gone, I'm going to draw a blank here in a minute.
The Monterey Bay Aquarium.
Oh, yes, we have several that have done there. So, I mean, I think that the thing is, like with psych majors, we're all over the place. We're not just one special set way that we go into careers. There's so many different careers you can go into with psychology. So there's a lot of different options. We have a lot of people that have done stuff with animals, Unchained, working with youth and working with dogs and training them. So there are a lot of different options, and I encourage you to reach out to Rhonda, Priscilla, Thomas, and Dayton in our Career Center, because they're an excellent set of professionals and they have some really good resources. Yep.
Awesome.
Perfect.
Awesome. Okay, so next question. I'm a music major. Who is my academic advisor?
That depends. If you are a freshman, Esmeralda will be your advisor at this time
for this
first
interim
semester. If you are an upper division student, you are going to be meeting with Richard Baines. He is the chair of the music department, and he's one of the faculty members. So he will help you with upper level classes. So it just depends.
Nice, Jessica. Alrighty, so another one from Caitlin. I've passed a few AP.
Meg, you froze on us.
You froze.
You're frozen.
Am I back?
You're back.
There you
Your
go.
face is not back, but your voice. Oh, there you are.
Okay, we missed that question.
All right.
Frozen now too.
I have passed a few AP exams in high school as a marine science major. What classes could I be exempt from taking at CSUMB? So yeah, Caitlin, it definitely depends. It's props to you for passing a bunch of AP exams. That's awesome. You can definitely email me. You'll find my email address. If you should have it already, actually, because I emailed you everybody last week. But if you need to find it again, it's on the CSUMB advising page that Jessica showed at the beginning of this live stream, and you can shoot me an email with what AP classes you took and what you passed. But also, there's a really cool, handy tool that just got updated on CSUMB's website. If you type in credit by exam on our search box on our website, then you can find a document that breaks down what AP scores transfer into fulfill which GE credit at CSUs. And it's read on a really great user-friendly guide or a grid now. It used to be kind of this long list, but now the records office has really made it more pretty. I just looked at it last week. It looks great. So again.
I think it went away. Also, hey, one more thing to mention is that everybody should check their spam email, because a lot of times our email is going to their spam. So if they're saying they didn't get something, it might be in your spam folder. So check your spam folder right now while we're using your personal email accounts. And again, next week we'll only be emailing CSUMB email, but check your spam.
June 5th, you'll have access to that CSUMB email.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yes.
And maybe before.
Or maybe before. Good shot. All righty, we're still got some more questions going in, so we're doing good.
Yeah.
All right.
How do I apply for jobs on campus or work study? When can I start applying for it?
So you can check our career. If you go to our website, again, there's a link for career, part of our group, and on there's something called Otter Jobs. You can't start searching yet until you get sent a password for Otter Jobs, but there's all kinds of jobs listed on Otter Jobs that are either on campus or off campus, and it's a really good resource for you to start looking for jobs. Workstudy is actually, I want to say that's something that has to do with financial aid, and there's not a ton of Workstudy I know on campus, but there is always opportunities for jobs, and there's a lot of companies that have just moved in locally here within walking distance, restaurants, Chipotle, Smashburger. There's always places like that, Target, that are looking for students to hire too.
Yep.
So just remember Otter Jobs, and you'll be sent an email from Career at some point.
Awesome. So we have a student who asked about the cohorting for CS and double majoring. She has another question, or she or he. In addition to what I mentioned before, if I got into the cohort for computer science, is it still possible to maybe minor in something else instead? I was planning to study both computer science and Japanese language culture.
So just like the double major, the minor is going to be challenging because, like I said, the cohort is very strict in their scheduling. Typically, you're taking 4 classes a semester, which is 16 units, and they're pretty intense, rigorous courses. So adding anything into the cohort is tough, especially if you want to graduate in the 4 years, which is one of their promises that they have if you stay in the cohort. There might be a little room for you to add something like a minor. Like I said, especially if you work on maybe some classes over the summer, but we would have to work on that because the cohort really likes their students to kind of stay in line with what they're doing. So you're taking all your classes with your classmates. So it's a case-by-case kind of situation. So I would definitely reach out to me and we can talk about it a little more and see if we can fit that in for you.
Awesome.
Just realized I was out of the screen.
You were.
I was like,
No, you're in there. You're in there.
okay. I want everybody to see my raccoon eyes.
Next question from Indiana Clark. I want to receive my teaching credential. When would I apply for that? After my bachelor's?
Yes.
Actually, technically, well, yes, but technically before. Like for grad school, you typically apply the year before. So if you're going to be a spring graduate, you'll be applying for grad school in fall, the semester before you graduate.
Yeah.
Boom.
Good questions.
Start it after you finish.
I know these are really great questions.
Yeah.
All right, the last one I have here, unless anyone else submits another one before we end today. I passed the AP Japanese language test, so does that let me move ahead and skip some classes in that minor/major? So would I still be able to do the computer science cohort with that?
So if you've completed your language, then that does give you a little bit of wiggle room for courses. So like I said, reach out to me through email. We can get a better idea of kind of what you've completed and where you'll have those gaps in your schedule, and then we can try to fit that in. Great question.
Well, one last final question that just slipped in there. Are you a Cowboys fan?
Definitely. Both of us. Definitely.
Yeah, you
and we're
both
not
are.
Bandwagon fans either, okay? Just
No.
saying.
Born and raised
Born
in the Emmitt Smith era.
If you cut us, we bleed blue.
Yes.
Just saying.
Yeah, we have
Good question.
And a Dodger fan.
These do not represent my views on this sports team, so I just want to make that clear.
Not all of us are right,
Yeah,
Meg.
not all of us are
right.
perfect. Everybody
Okay.
has flaws. Everybody has flaws.
That's
Meg.
right.
It's okay.
I don't see them that way, but that's okay. Oh, okay, we got another one. This is actually a good one. I know that this is a weird question, but what online program do you use, like Canvas or Blackboard, etc.?
I learned
Yeah, which is part of
learned
Moodle.
Moodle, which is Blackboardy.
Kind of
So,
like a Blackboardy.
Yeah, it's very similar. It's a pretty cool program. Most of the classes use that platform for turning in assignments, finding your syllabus. Each kind of week will have a different module that you look at, and they'll have different resources from your teacher. We have a lot of tech support for that. So if you've never used it before and if you're kind of confused about it, you can definitely look into that. And actually, I think they're doing an online orientation this year.
I do believe
through
using
iLearn.
iLearn. Yeah.
Yeah, so you'll get
Good
some
practice.
experience with it ahead of
It's easy to use.
Good, yes.
Yes,
I
pretty
was
easy.
gonna mention the orientation. Okay, one I actually skipped over. I want to take Japanese at CSUMB. I've also considered studying abroad if I can. What year should I study abroad? And this is from Caitlin, my marine science student. So, Caitlin, we recommend that you try and study abroad after you finished your lower division. So maybe in your junior year, start thinking about that, depending on how quickly you get those lower division major requirements done. Studying abroad is awesome. We could definitely talk more about that once you get here. We can kind of try and fit that into your learning plan about when would be the best time to go. But we usually recommend that you wait until you do those foundational kind of science classes in your major. That way you can have more opportunity to take more kind of cooler, more advanced classes you may not have the opportunity to take here, but take them at another university in another country. So doing those lower division requirements, all your GEs, getting those done, and your major requirements kind of opens the door for more opportunity for what you can take when you're abroad. But again, we'll talk more about that when you and I meet once you start. Okay, couples coming in. We have about 5 more minutes in our live stream. I think we'll get to this last one and then we might start wrapping up and we might have time for one more.
Okay.
With junior status, am I okay signing up at orientation or should I contact my advisor sooner?
Signing up for what? So one thing I actually want to clarify too, and maybe that's what the question is asking as far as registering.
Maybe that's, I'm a freshman with junior status. Am I okay signing up at orientation or should I contact my advisor sooner?
So that means that they did the high school with the junior college at the same time, like Gavilan does a lot of that. There's one in San Jose, I think, that does it.
Yes.
My mind just went blank. Oh my gosh. I just got back from
orientation. So are they talking about registration?
Yes. So that's a question that I've been getting a lot actually is, do I register for classes at orientation? So no, actually orientation is your time to ask questions, to have all of your questions answered. It's to meet with your advisor and we're gonna give you a lot of good information, but everybody registers, as Jessica had read earlier, starting on the 21st. So if you're a transfer freshman, which I get what you're saying maybe, or you already have classes under your belt, you're probably going to be, is it the 23rd for freshmen?
Mm.
Yeah.
If you're the 23rd freshmen who attend orientation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then those who do not attend orientation register June 26th.
Yeah, one thing we'll probably cover in another one of the webinars is your student center in CMS. And once you become a matriculated student, each of you is going to have a registration date and time so you can enroll in your classes. And that's specific for each student. You'll get a new one every semester. So we'll show you kind of how to find that. And you'll be able to see exactly what date and time that you can register for your classes.
You're very helpful.
Awesome. You both are very helpful.
Helpful advising.
Yay.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we'll start wrapping up. I don't see any more questions. So if you watch this live stream, I guess I'll click it back to my face here so we can give Jess and Chrissy a break. You all did great. So we're going to be hosting several more live streams. If you're watching this later, if you're not watching this live and watching it, after you get off work or after you're done with whatever else you have to do and watching it from home, you can tune in for the other live streams later on or leave your questions either in the chat box or in the comment section below the video itself so we can answer those later, even if you can't make the live. We're going to be hosting ones, very similar to our website. Our next one is tomorrow, I believe at 2 o'clock. And we'll be having different advisors.
I'll be there.
Oh, is Jessica there? Okay, Jessica's at the tomorrow one.
Never mind. Sorry, it's Alex and Gladys.
Alex and Gladys. All right, Alex is our kinesiology advisor and Gladys is she's not CART anymore. She's human communication still.
She is CART.
She is CART.
And CART.
For now.
CART, okay. So just even if you're not those majors, it's okay. We welcome all majors, freshman or transfer students coming to each of these live streams to get their questions answered. And if if it's slow on questions, then we will be talking about other important topics. So it's really good to try and watch or attend as many as possible to get that good foundation on what you should be knowing coming in as a student here and getting registered in your first semester of classes. In addition to the live streams that we're hosting, we're also going to be doing call-in hours. I believe they start next week.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see here. Yeah, call-in hours start next Monday. And that's when you can call in and ask some general questions. All advisors are making themselves available during those call-ins to take your questions and to help get you more informed. In addition to the call-in hours, we're going to be opening open labs as well. These are optional. Open labs are more geared towards students who are maybe local and want to come in and get help with getting familiar with their student center or any other questions or concerns that us advisors can help you with answering. I want to reiterate, they're not required, these open labs for we won't want you to come all the way from across the country to come for these open labs. If you're local, then they're great to attend if you can. And like Jessica already mentioned, Jessica and Chrissy both mentioned, your shopping cart should be unlocked by June 5th. Your CMS, you should have access to your CMS Student Center, your email, your dashboard by June 5th, if not sooner. So you can start, you know, playing around with your classes and adding them in your shopping cart and getting ready to register after orientation. Let's see here. I think that's all I had that I wanted to kind of reiterate and go over. Anything else from our lovely advisors?
Did we mention to check your email?
I think we did.
You know what? I was thinking that we should say that one more time.
Yeah, so like we've mentioned a couple of times, it's always important, it's extremely important to make sure you're on top of your email.
Yes.
Right now we're sending it to your personal email, but after you are matriculated, which will start for sure on Monday, June 5th, then you need to be checking your CSUMB email, especially this next few months before school starts. I would check it regularly to make sure you're not missing anything from your advisor, from other important departments on campus. And then once you're a student here, that's the main form of communication on campus, financial aid, housing. Everybody will be sending you updates and reminders through your CSUMB email. So please make sure you're checking it regularly. Set it up, put a little picture of yourself on there, and become familiar with it, because that's going to be where you get all of your information.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you, everybody, for watching today and submitting your great questions. This is really an awesome first live stream, and I'm really happy with all of our new otters coming in. So we're really looking forward to meeting all you and getting you connected to campus.
Yep. Welcome, otters.
Thank you, Meg.
Have a great day, everybody.
Peace.
Bye.
Bye.